Let's look at what's going on over at CNN. Ooh, CNN now seemingly being called out by Elon Musk and Community Notes on X for this little report done by one Clarissa Ward. They're saying that somehow this is fake news. Let's take a look.
After 3 months in a windowless cell, he can finally see the sky. My God, the light, he says. Oh God, there is light. My God, there is light.
Okay, so it goes on for another 2.5 minutes, right? Oh God, there is light, there is life. And he's all excited because he's finally been freed from prison there, I believe in Damascus. So what's at issue now is that a former detainee in Syria that, by the way, has no use for al-Assad, is saying that this doesn't look entirely right to him. So CNN is really proud of this reporting. They're saying this is an extraordinary moment. They got to witness this Syrian prisoner being freed from this secret prison. Isn't it wonderful? You know, he was there without food, water, or light. And he was actually unaware that Bashar al-Assad's regime had fallen. And so isn't it terrific that she was on the ground and was able to capture all this? But rather than just, you know, taking it at face value, the Community Notes community decided to take a closer, hard look at it. And that's why if you look at this tweet, there's actually a Community Notes addendum that's been added saying Syrian former detainee notes inconsistencies. Communal cells were not used for individual prisoners. The cell appears unusually clean, and the prisoner's energy level seems inconsistent with claims of a 5-day water deprivation. So, kind of interesting. I mean, this is the last thing CNN needs right about now. Look, reporters have been duped before. I do believe she used to work for CBS, and CBS ran into these things, right? Remember? Dan Rather actually had to leave because of it. Lara Logan also wound up getting duped in one story there. And so, you know, they've had some situations. And Clarissa, could she have been duped here? It's something to think about. And you know what? We wouldn't have really thought about it before if we didn't have something like X out there. This guy is saying, his name is Hassan Akkad. I was detained twice in Syria. I think this is staged. CNN should investigate. I'm happy to be proven wrong. She had said, in nearly 20 years as a journalist, this is one of the most extraordinary moments I have witnessed. But he's saying, no, I think it was staged. Now, why should we trust him, you say? I don't know. I mean, we don't know a lot about him other than he had been in prison in Syria himself, and he seems to have gone on to work in journalism and in film, etc. And he's got some sort of lofty Twitter followers, including J.K. Rowling, including Barry Weiss. Anyway, he's writing that individuals were never locked in communal cells. That never happens, he writes. In detention centers, none of the clips surfaced of people being released showed a single person in a communal cell. I watched every single clip. The cell looks too clean. There were no discarded clothes, bags, bread, bottles of water, other blankets, nothing. First thing he said is, I want to drink water, which means he had no water for the last 5 days because, again, I don't see any bottles in the cell. He has too much energy, he writes, for someone who had had no water for 5 days. Again, he says, look, I'm happy to be proven wrong, but the clips we watch of all the detainees being released are horrifying. If this turns out to be staged, it should be extremely unethical and insulting, and Clarissa should apologize. So again, was she duped? This guy grew up there in Syria. He's originally from Damascus, and worked as an English teacher and a photographer. He, in 2011, as the protests in Syria against Bashar al-Assad grew, he joined and filmed the demonstrations, and in response to that, the authorities arrested him, beat him, so he had been part of in one of those prisons and had been incarcerated by Bashar al-Assad. So he has talked about his systemic torture there, the Assad regime's horrific stuff, and he's not buying it. So I think it's just very interesting. It's like this new day and age, right, where we can suddenly have an open dialogue where we can dispute what we're seeing, and that's healthy. It's really healthy because we shouldn't just automatically take CNN's word for it. we should have a broader sort of ability to vet facts, and that's what we're seeing. So again, I guess another win, but we'll see. I'm with him. I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but I think it's interesting to have this come up for debate. Let's hope that CNN did not get duped. I don't think I'd go so far as to say that she staged this. I know you guys have no use for CNN or CBS or any of it, but I don't think she'd actually do that. I think perhaps somebody else duped her in this process, and that's what's concerning.